to Spells from the Shelf. This is a bonus episode, and I have one of my best friends who is going to be joining us for this particular episode, Lily.
Hi, everyone.
Yay, Lily's here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. We went to Apollycon together. So we figured, since now we're like basically experts,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
at least more so than going into it the first time, we would talk
Yes.
all things Apollycon. The panels, the author signings, tickets, and of course, lines.
Oh, the lines.
The lines.
That's giving me PTSD.
I don't want to wait on another line until the next book convention. Good. I'm good. I don't think I need to wait on any more lines. But
Nope.
it was a cool experience. Oh, and location. It was a really cool experience. Neither one of us have ever been to a book convention before. Apollycon was apparently the way that we felt was best to just like go to a book convention. And we went for vibes. We
We
went,
did. We did. We decided, hey, we've never done a convention ever. And we haven't really gone to many book signings, so let's just put it all in one little basket and do it all up.
yeah, let's do it all at one time and see what happens. And there were authors that, of course, both of us had read, but to be honest, it did not occur to me to read exclusively a polygon. Because, listen, here's the thing that's important to note. Lily and I suffer from the same condition of mood rating. if,
Yes,
if
we
you
do.
if you try to force us to read a specific book, it could take a long time. It could take
It doesn't fare well.
It does not fare well. But there were authors that, of course, we had read, and Leah got finally into the From Blood and Ash world, which I was both excited and scared about. Because, of course, this is JLA's event. She started it,
Yeah.
and we found out that it was also the 10th anniversary
Yes, that was fun. That was fun.
while we
Yes,
were
I was.
there.
Yep. I was happy though that before going to the event, I did decide, hey, let me read a JLA book. And I was very happy about that because I was 3 books in when we got to Polycon. And it was nice to put a face to the name and to hear how her creative juices flow and to know, because I have read a few of her books now, well, 3 to be exact. It was nice to see.
It was. And that had to be like really cool for you because now you have like From Blood and Ash completely like fresh in your mind. And it's because I'm waiting for the next couple of books to come out. I haven't done a reread in quite some time. And we did get to go to. So the panels, I think, were my personal favorite part. Do you,
I enjoyed the panels. Yes.
right? It was very interesting to get the behind the scenes look at what the author's process is and also just the chaos that they are. The first panel that we got to go to, which also we had no, guys, once again, we had no idea what to expect. Completely blind into this. And it was a panel with Nalini Singh, JLA, and J.R. Ward. And
Yes.
we've both read JLA at this point. I've read J.R. Ward. I haven't read Nalini yet. And I've also never heard J.R. Ward speak.
No, no. So, like you, I had read JLA. Never, I had never read J.R. Ward. But again, I'm new to this reading journey. I just came back from having a hiatus. So, a lot of the authors I was unfamiliar with. But J.R. Ward, I had not read, but I had heard of her. My sister does read her. And I had never heard of Nalini Singh. And I feel bad saying it because those 2 particular women have been in the writing game for a while now
A
from
while.
everything they were saying, right?
Yes. No, they've been in the writing game for a long time. And when Nalini was talking about her book, they sound cool. They sound right up our alley and
Yep.
in the genre
Yes.
that we enjoy.
Yep. Yep. Oh, but J.R. Ward, she is a phenomenon. She is an entire vibe.
She
An
really
entire
is.
vibe.
She is. Okay, to give you a picture, she has this fantastic, like bright blonde hair that's in this adorable, like pixie cut type kind of vibe. And she was wearing this fantastic, like black cocktail dress, and she was just all over the place. she,
First of all, she was so she's this, she's this beautiful woman.
yes.
Again, like you said, beautiful, bright blonde hair, gorgeous dress. She comes on stage looking beautiful and poised. And then they ask her a question, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this woman is a whole mess, but in the best way possible.
Oh, in such a fantastic way because it was so amazing. You have like it, and I think what made it so perfect is that she's comes because she has this big personality that's so
Huge.
huge, likable and relatable in so many ways, and just she just like gives it to you straight.
No chase them.
She just immediately grabs your attention, and I love that she dropped a lot of f bombs.
She did. I think she was the first one to curse on the panel, and
She
it was
was.
within the first minute. Guys, the first minute.
She was. She
Um,
was so good.
she really was. And she doesn't stand still. I mean, excuse me, she doesn't sit still. So you ask her a question, she is jumping up like a little firecracker and then walking the stage. And it's just, it keeps you very much so into the moment.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it keeps you very engaged. And the panels, so that particular panel, they were on a stage that was lifted up, which definitely worked for that room because that room was massively large, rightfully so.
Yeah, it was in the oh, what is it? The Potomac Ballroom,
Ballroom, yes. Big.
which it was huge. Plus, during the convention, the Potomac Ballroom was after that day ended up being transitioned to one of the halls that all like a lot of the authors were in for the signings portion of Apollycon.
Yes.
So it was huge. They had to be elevated.
Oh, yeah, they had to be elevated. And even if they weren't elevated, because she gets up and walks around, like she wants you to be able to see her and hear her clearly. And it was such a great introduction into the Apollycon schedule because, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. It was a packed schedule, and I was a little nervous about that because I was like, wow, that's a lot. Am I going to like panels? I've never been to a panel. Is that going to be fun or is that going to be like school?
It's so funny you said that because it felt like work where you're always doing something, but not like work that you hate. It felt like
Yeah.
work, but a good type of work, if that's even a real thing. So even though we were super busy and we had to try to fit in time to eat or have coffee or just decompress, it didn't, at the end of the night, I didn't feel, oh my God, so stressed. It felt good.
It did. It did feel like it wasn't stressful in that way at all. There was only one moment, which we will definitely be talking about.
Yes,
There was only one moment where it was like, oh, I felt a little stressed that day. And it was for one of the signing days. Got a little crazy there.
yes.
But the panels we tried to get into, so they had a lot of different panels set up for different times. I think there was 8, 9, and 10 were the slots.
Yeah,
And
it was. Yeah, the panels were like what, like about 15 minutes each, starting from 8. Um, and I think they ended like around 11.
yes, so and they had different types of panels with different authors, and they all had and this is the part that was a little confusing that I I know that you and me talked about, Lay, that we hope that they would do a little better with. They named them similar things,
Oh, yes.
and it got really confusing because you would have to keep double checking the schedule. And shout out to whoever that Apollycon attendee was who did that whole schedule so that you could print it out and look at it like obsessively every 5 minutes, because the panels were the most confusing part. It's like, okay, wait, I want to go to the Enchanted Encounters panel, but like which one for which day at what
Yep.
time?
Yeah, there was like Enchanted Encounters regular, and then Enchanted Encounters Dragons, and Enchanted Encounters Beasts, and yeah, it was that was the only thing that I wish that they didn't do. I wish that all the panels had all different names, because all the panels were different and that they had all different types of authors.
Yes. Yeah, they had like a different mix of authors for each one. And if there was a particular author that you wanted to see, which we were trying to see J.R. Ward again, because she did one with Emma Ham the very next morning, but
Yeah.
that was so packed.
It was so packed, but then I saw snippets of it after Polycon, like I think it was on Instagram, and it looked so good.
Oh, it
It
looks
was
so good.
right at one point, J.R. Ward was talking to some young lady who was an independent writer, and oh, so uplifting. It really was. From what I saw, it looked like it was such a good panel.
It really was uplifting to kind of hear her, Nalini, and JLA speak in that first one. And it kind of gives you like a boost, especially for someone who's always dreamed of writing. Maybe you've dabbled in it like here or there. It was kind of nice to hear that, they didn't just come out of the gate like perfect at it. There was like a process. And that was kind of the theme of the panels, because they weren't the only ones who talked about it. A lot of the authors talked about, their craft, and it sounds like all of them just one day decided, I want to do this, and this is what I'm going to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. It's funny because with those particular three particular authors, J.R. Ward, JLA, and Nalini Singh, they're all such different personalities too. Like you have J.R. Ward, who is very, in your face type of personality, and then Nalini Singh, who seems very low key, sweet, but she had edge to her too. And
Yes,
then J.R. Ward excuse me, JLA is she's just JLA, like you know, she was the happy medium of the two.
she was actually. Yeah, that's actually a good way of describing it. She really was like the happy medium between the two, for sure. And so the panels were like really great, I will say. We did get to go to three other ones in total. We went to like a Morley Gray one. We went to a monster one. The Enchanted Encounters one with Callie Hart and Carissa Broadbent. That one was so funny. They had technical difficulties.
Yes.
And so you could hear the other panel, like authors talking about, and their particular moment was monsters, so they were talking about monster anatomy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the STFUATILA panel or something like that. And they were
Yes.
going off the same time as our panel, and the microphones. We heard their microphone, they heard our microphone. We started talking to them on that side um of their location. It was funny.
It
Hot ass
was.
mess, but funny.
Yeah, it was really funny. It was a hot ass mess, though. So aside from the panels, I think the others, the other thing that was really cool was the coronation, only because I didn't expect it to be as decorated as it was. I don't know again, we didn't know what to expect for anything. We really just went into this kind of super blind, and it was really done up. It was
Yeah, it
super
was
done up.
pretty. It
It
was
was,
pretty. Like you walk in, it was mood lighting, very as if you were going into a ball. There were string lights everywhere, columns, and in the very front of the room where where JLo was going to be interviewed was two huge dragons, um, and then they had cake pops, and obviously a bar.
Yeah.
They had, I think, two or three bars.
The bar
So it was nice.
situation, yeah, the bar situation seems a little bit normal for the coronation. It didn't look as crazy. So the other event that we were able to go to was obviously the masquerade where everybody can go. So everybody can go to the coronate. No, the coronation's only for primal passes. I'm sorry. And ascended if you get like an addition on added on. So you pay for an ascended ticket, but then you can add on the coronation alone. So those are the two ticket holder groups that can go. The masquerade is for everybody. The thing
Yes.
is, and me and Lee talked about this, when you walked into the masquerade, it was so much more underwhelming than the
It
coronation.
was. It
It,
was.
it was
It
there.
was.
There was like things around, but it was just kind of like they placed something there, but it wasn't the entire room.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I
I
honestly,
think. Okay.
oh, I was gonna say, I honestly wouldn't even cared if they just recycled the same decorations.
Well, they had some of them. I know I did see the dragons there,
The dragons, yeah.
which was good because you want to get your best bang for your buck. But the the best part of the masquerade ball, and maybe this is what they going for. I'm not sure, but the decorations really, I found them to be underwhelming. But it was seeing how everyone was dressed,
Oh, the
you know,
dresses.
because you had folks that went all out, which it was a total missed opportunity with the both of us. We dropped the ball
You really did.
because we didn't know because we didn't know what to expect, and because we also were traveling. I We just didn't really know what to wear, so we wore things dresses, right? But we didn't go all out. Like there were crowns, and there was a dragon. Someone dressed as a dragon. There were beautiful dresses with these bodices and capes and hoods. It was just, and obviously you had your masquerade themed masks. So, but it was some of these folks really went all out, and
Oh,
everyone was so different.
oh, I loved that. Yeah. And the dresses that you saw, I don't think there was a single one that I didn't think was like stunning. I was like, oh my God, that's so pretty. And some of the women had their emotional support husbands with them. Shout out to those guys.
That's true. That's true. It's so funny because when we're doing panels, um, because there's lines everywhere. You're standing out in the hall or you're sitting on the floor waiting for them to allow you to go into the rooms. All of a sudden, so there's all these women standing here, right? Then all of a sudden, you see about 4 or 5 men dressed in, like sports clothes, shorts, basketball shorts, jeans, whatever, with coffees in their hand. Each hand had a coffee, right? Obviously, one of those coffees are theirs, but then they're bringing their wives who have been online for the last 45 minutes coffees too. And all I kept thinking was, that's a good one. You got a good one, you
It
know?
was, yeah, it's so cute. It was pretty, like all of a sudden you would see them like enter the hall and you knew that they were looking for where
Mm-hmm.
for where they
Mm-hmm.
were waiting
Shout out to the
online.
boys. Shout out to the boys.
Shout out to them. And the really nice thing, because a lot of women did go, like, even if they did have like their partners with them, there was a like their partners didn't go to the signings and the panels because if it's not their thing, they're not going to go, but they're there for like emotional support on the sidelines, right? But there was an Apollycon like solo group that I thought was really
That's so
cool.
good. That's so good. Yeah. So you have a group of women who are traveling to Washington, D.C., to the Gaylord to go to this convention. And they may not be bringing anyone, right? They may just be
Sure.
going by
Yeah.
themselves.
Some of them were going by
Maybe they're,
themselves.
yeah, like for instance, I traveled from, my home on my own. My husband stayed with my kids. you traveled from your home, your husband stayed with kitties. So, you have these folks who are coming by themselves and they had this singles group and they all had like tags and stuff. So while they were at whatever events, whether it was a panel or a signing or one of the sponsored events, you were able to pinpoint who was part of this singles group. And it was almost like it was just a built in friend, right? Because you guys were going for the same thing. And it was really nice. And I like to
It
see that
was.
because, if let's say a year I can't go or you can't go or something like that, and, you have that option, which was really
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And that just kind of shows that, girl code, guys. We don't let other women be alone for anything. Literally.
Mm-mm. No.
We travel, we travel in packs. There's we really do. And it was just really nice. And that was kind of like that's kind of the great thing about it. Like there were a lot of people that we just got to talk with while we were, waiting for stuff. And there was a lot of camaraderie that you kind of felt like, if somebody needed to charge their phone, but they forgot their portable charger. You'd be like, here, I have one. I don't need it. Charge your phone. Like it was just really nice. Or if you were waiting online with a couple of people and one of you went down to the market to get something because you knew you were going to be there a while, like people were asking, like, "Oh, do you need anything?" kind of deal. It was there was a
Yeah,
lot
that
of
was
that.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was a lot of
it
that going
was.
on.
But then on the opposite side of the coin, you also saw some folks who were not as friendly and who took this very seriously.
Very seriously.
And maybe listen, that's their right. That's what they wanted to do, right? You and I weren't there for that. We weren't there. We weren't there to take life that serious. We were getting away from our serious lives, serious
Yes,
adult lives, to go to our fantasy land. You know?
exactly. And I think that's why we did have like overall such a good time because we weren't there to be because reading is this fun hobby that we do that we enjoy and we love learning about these books and getting to meet the authors who write these books with all of these new book boyfriends that we have is just supposed to be fun.
Yeah, yes.
You don't want
But
it to
there
feel
were
like work.
exactly there were some folks there that were very just very level 10 and not in the good way. Not in the good way.
Not in a good way. Because the line situation, we'll delve into we'll delve into
Let's just
that
get
a
into it.
little.
No, let's just get into it. Let's
Let's get
just get
into
into
it.
it.
Yeah.
The line situation sucked.
Oh, it
Okay,
sucked.
it sucked. It sucked from registration, and
Oh,
we
that
had
was
early registration because we were Primal ticket holders, so we did have early registration. It sucked from early registration to, for the most part, many of the events, whether it was a panel signing, whether it was a sponsored event, whether it was the signings, the broken up signings, the line situation was serious.
very
You know,
serious.
some of the attendees, they decided to make up their own rules and make up their own lines. And it took a lot of rallying for these volunteers to really get it together. And the two gripes. I have two gripes with Apollycon. One was obviously the lines, but at the same time, is that a gripe? It's to be expected. You have
True.
1,500 people coming to one event space. Of course, it's a lot of people, you know? So maybe that's not a gripe. But my second gripe was I do think that they needed a little bit more organization
Yes.
because the attendees were so oh well, there's no line that's being formed. Well, we're going to form a line right here, right now. Here it is.
Yeah.
Because that was
Yeah.
even a thing, I do think if there was a little bit more organization, that you would have been able to bring them in where it wasn't so all over the place. You didn't know what to expect.
You really didn't. And that particular incident, that there was one particular incident that was a little wild. And it's what Lily is talking about, which is where, so there were two signing halls, Potomac Ballroom, which was the like that big space upstairs. And then there was one space downstairs, Exhibit Hall. And the thing is Exhibit Hall for us on Saturday, because we got 2 days of signing, which we'll get to the ticket, tiers too. But we had 2 days of signing. Exhibit Hall was kind of what I would equate to apparently the Thunderdome. I don't know what was going on down in Exhibit Hall, but we were like la-di-da in Potomac, and then Exhibit Hall was like to war.
Yeah, so when we went to our, we have early signing because we were Primal ticket holders. That was Friday, right, Em?
Yes, Friday. Yeah, so that
Okay.
was the early
So
signing.
Friday panel holders could go to either of the exhibit halls, right? Whether it's Potomac or exhibit hall, whatever alphabet it was, E, I think it was. So you had a choice of which one. You could have went to either one. Basically, you had 5 hours to just get in there. Um, Am and I decided, hey, let's do Potomac because we had more authors that we wanted to see in that area, and not just authors, ticketed authors. So that's something extremely important to remember and to think about the next, what if you ever
Yes.
choose to join. Ticketed authors are authors that you have to go up to their booth, get a ticket, which is numbered, and then you'll hear the sequence of numbers while you're, venturing into the exhibit halls of where that author is, and you would go to that author at the time that the numbers is called, right? It's like bingo, sort of.
Yeah.
And these authors are ticketed because there are high demand authors that the event expects to not have enough time to see everyone to give a signing to. So that's why they have these ticketed authors. So we had more ticketed authors in Potomac, so we decided to go there first. Mind you, there was a line. There was a huge line an hour
Huge.
before going into the halls. Un us unaware that exhibit hall E had an even bigger line. So it
Yes.
seems a lot of the more popular authors were downstairs. And because there were so many of those authors downstairs, we had not known this, but downstairs was crazy. There was lines everywhere. It was so busy. And we're just, again, like Anne said, we're in Potomac just taking it all in that first day.
Yeah. It
So
was so Leah was my emotional support best friend because I discovered a couple of years ago that I have ADHD. So when I'm in a big space with a lot of things to do, I freeze. So luckily, Patrick had sent me to the trip with a nifty little map and highlights and all the names. And at one point when we got in there, I know you saw it, Lee, where my face was like, what the fuck?
first of all, so we get in there, and Emma's the one with the map. I didn't have the map.
You
I
did not.
listen. I came to Apollycon purely unbiased, and there's two reasons why I came out to Washington D.C. One, because I wanted to go to this wonderful event, and two, I wanted to celebrate Anne because it was her birthday around the same time. So I wanted to make sure we were together for her birthday, right? So so I'm all on. You want to go there? We're gonna go there. This is your world, Ammie. I'm just living it, right? And we get into Potomac Hall finally after the line, and she's just standing there and just turning around. Didn't know what to do.
I
Didn't know
know.
where to go,
I had to,
and couldn't situate the map. And at that point was at that point that I was like, okay, give me the map. Just give it to me, and I'm gonna have to guide this ship.
basically, Leah adopted me as another one of her toddlers. she was she, she just led the way throughout the whole thing. Because the first author we went to, she was like, "Okay, Emma Ham, she's a ticketed author, and you have a pre-order with her, so that's where we're going first." And I was like, "Okay."
Listen, that was a good place to start too. She was so sweet.
She was.
So nice. We got a picture with her. Well, we got a picture with quite a number of authors, but she was like, "Come on over." and she was great, great author to start with.
Oh, she was a fantastic author because she's very calm. Like she was super calm, like just like chilling and just ready to tackle the day. And that was pretty much the vibe of Potomac through and through. And then we ventured down to exhibit hall at the last 2 hours of the 5 hour
Oh,
time slot. And it looked like everybody had been through some stuff.
yes, yes,
The authors looked
those,
tired. The volunteers looked
yes,
tired. Everybody looked tired.
yes. And by the time we ventured down there, we're thinking, hey, yeah, we have 2 hours. We're doing good. We're gonna get all of our pre-orders. We're gonna get all of our ticketed authors done on this day. This is gonna be wonderful. No, uh, we could have not been more wrong. We went to our big we went to our three big ticketed authors, which were what? It was Callie Hart,
Danielle
Carissa,
Jensen.
and Carissa Broadbent, right?
Yeah,
So we go to their booths and no tickets.
no tickets.
First of all,
Sold out.
didn't even know that was a thing.
Me
Didn't know that was
neither.
a thing, right? I'm like, what do you mean no tickets? No tickets. Sorry. Try again tomorrow.
They were like, no, you,
Right?
you
And
can't be here.
I will say, Callie Hart's booth was gorgeous.
Oh, it was.
She had the butterflies everywhere, the lights going off. Her booth was like tucked away in a little corner, and it really was gorgeous. But yeah,
Someone got to
all we
take
had to do
those.
was see it.
Someone got to take those home, Lee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they apparently some authors, and I guess it makes sense. They didn't want to travel with their like booth decorations, and one of the attendees got to just like they just gave them to her.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, I don't know how I would have gotten that home on Amtrak, but that is so cool.
I could hear the wheels
And
turning in your head. Like how?
right, I had to put that right in my daughter's room. It would have went with the motif.
I
What
didn't.
the heck?
I didn't know that was a thing either. I would have been stalking the breakdown of the ballrooms if I had.
There was no amount of preparation that would really would have opened our eyes to what we were walking into. There was none,
Oh,
nothing.
absolutely not.
So we
Yeah.
just know better for next year
Oh,
or for
we
the next time we go.
no, we definitely do. And since we had the early signing day, like day two, which is every ticket holder goes, which is Saturday, they break you up into group A and group B. So they completely split it in half. So basically, 750, 750. And we didn't have, once again, we weren't going to exhibit hall. Funny enough, our group for exhibit hall wasn't until the afternoon time slot. So in the morning, we didn't even have to rush to Potomac. We took our time in the morning. We went there to then look around at some of the authors that we may have missed
Yeah, and
and
for the most part,
vendors,
because yeah. Oh, I loved the
the
vendors.
vendors.
Loved the vendors. The only thing I disliked was we went to the vendors in the AM of the full day signing of all the tiers, right?
Yes.
There wasn't a vendor in Potomac that when we went for the afternoon, I was still thinking about their books, and because we had the afternoon with exhibit hall, we couldn't go back to Potomac, so I couldn't go back to that vendor.
Oh,
And
spready
I did.
edges.
Yep. Yeah. And even actually as early as today, I was thinking about it. I'm gonna go on Instagram and look at the books that she has because yeah, I had some. I guess yeah, I had some remorse not being able to purchase a book from her.
I know. I did too, actually, because she had an entire set. So Emerson Hoyt writes, I know you're not reading like real people yet, Lee. You're still in fan. I read. So what we mean by that is Lily is not ready to read about real people. She's all about the fantasy. She's about the shadow daddies and
Give
the
me a dragon,
and the
give me a
dragons.
fae, give me a vamp. That's where I'm at right now in my reading journey. I am not ready for real people love or real people smut just yet. I did try, guys. I did read Lights Out. Okay. Not only did I read Lights Out, I let my husband listen to the trigger warnings, and now he looks at me differently. He looks at me 1,000% differently, and I don't know if it's in a good way or bad. I don't know yet. But I am not. After reading that, I'm like, okay, it has confirmed I'm not ready for real people books yet. I am
Totally.
still in my fantasy. I'm in my fantasy era.
And I don't think I'll ever, so I don't think I'll ever leave a fantasy era, and I don't think you will either. We're in it to win it. But sometimes I do venture out into the real people love and that don't have dragons. And sometimes I'm like, excuse me, sir, where is your dragon? Where are your magical powers? But she did have Spreadsy Edges did have this pretty set of Emerson Hoyt's like motorcycle romance series that she has. And I also had remorse not picking it up because I went by it and I was like, ooh, that's so pretty and unique. I should totally get it. And I said to myself, if I'm still thinking about it before we leave, I will go back and get it.
But we couldn't go back, guys. We couldn't
I
go back. It was
couldn't.
devastating.
It was because they took that, and you know what? Fair. Shout out to the volunteers in that realm because they did check to see if you had a star or a moon on your pass. Is
They
it?
did those. Yeah, those volunteers. I will say, they did look. They
They
looked.
did, and it's fair because you want to make sure that people who are in their signing spot are getting to see these vendors as well, and like these authors. Exhibit hall didn't have as many vendors, but they did have a good amount of authors that was drawing. This was battle day. This was the day where earlier I said to war because
Yep.
we were not prepared for the level of intensity that was there waiting for us when we ventured down to exhibit hall to wait in line because you were only supposed to go wait in the line an hour before anything started.
That was such. Okay, I'm not saying it was. Okay, I'm saying BS, but not. Oh, that was such BS that you're only supposed to wait an hour before. It was BS because no one was listening to that rule.
No
Not
one,
one person.
not
Not
one
one person.
person.
People were camping out. Hours. Hours. At one point, we walked by to go get lunch, and there were people already on their book carts sitting, waiting, trying to be nonchalant about it, but hours before
Oh
they said
yeah,
that you were supposed to line up.
hours. And the thing that was messed up about it, so when we went to go eat lunch, it was like at a normal time, like it was like noon. And of course, we had our book carts because we had already gone back up to the room, got our book carts. We were like, all right, we're going to grab a bite to eat. We're not going to run around like lunatics. And yeah, to Lee's point, like there they are waiting in a long line. We went, we ate, we came back. And at that point, that was noon. And the signing didn't
Yeah,
start till 2.
two,
To give you
two.
guys an idea, it didn't start till 2. And then we asked. So then when we did start making our way, which was about like, I want to say like 12:45, we started like over to this made up line. And I felt so bad for the woman who was standing at the back of this made up line because I think I said I was like, wait, did they open the line early? Because I legitimately was wondering. And she was like, no, this is the line. I was like, this isn't the line. What who's telling all these people that this is the line? And there
Yep,
were women at the beginning of this made up line who basically bullied everybody to stand behind them.
yep,
That
yep.
was very unfortunate to see. Like there were so many nice people that we ran into who were just so great to talk to while waiting on the lines and really made line waiting kind of jazzy and fun and go by quickly. And then you had like whoever the the few women that were in front there just kind of like that kind of like kills a vibe a little bit. It almost did.
Yeah. You had your bad apples in the bunch, your little rotten apples.
Yes.
But
We
that was
made
the end. Oh, but I will say, guys, book carts,
book
clutch,
cards.
clutch.
Yes. Book cards and make sure you
So
get one that's closed so you can sit on it.
that, yeah, when that has like a lid,
Oh yeah.
because a few months ago, Am was like, "Oh, Lee, we have to get these carts." And I'm like, "I don't have to get these carts. I'm just starting my reading journey. There's a lot of these authors I haven't read yet. I'm not gonna go book crazy and buy all these books, right? Right? Yes, yes, you hear that. You hear that in my voice. I was believing. I'm not gonna buy all these books. And you get that book cart, girl. You need it because you have a beautiful, brand new bookcase that your husband just finished building and you guys painted. So you're gonna need this book cart. Well, I think it was maybe 3 weeks before the event, or maybe even a month before the event. I'm like, well, I feel left out. I have 1000% FOMO. I'm gonna get a book cart too. There's no way. I have to get a book cart. So I go, I purchase this book cart, send it to Am because she was driving in, I was not, and book cart clutch. Sitting on that when we're waiting for whatever line it was, whether it's a line to get into the exhibit hall or a line to meet an author or anything. Just prop that little baby up and just sat, and it had one of those retractable handles, and we were able, you could lean a little bit on it, like not your full entire weight, but a little bit, and it was very comfortable
It
for what it
was.
was.
It was extremely comfortable and they were not that expensive. I think it was like $50.
I think I bought mine on sale.
I think we did get it on sale. And what's
Yeah.
funny is in true bestie fashion, we got color coordinated.
We look like a gender reveal. Mine's was pink and yours was blue.
We really did. It wasn't even on purpose. I sent her the link and she just happened to pick the pink color and I had picked like the baby blue.
Yep.
Oh my God. It was just so funny. I remember when I saw it, I was like, when I unboxed both of them, I was like, did we seriously match our book cards?
We did. We did.
Oh yeah, the book card is definitely a clutch item. One of the authors, some other clutch items that we recommend. One of the authors luckily had like a fan that you just fan yourself with. That you just like what do you call those?
I think it's like a hand fan. It's
A
one of those
hand
ones that you
fan.
open and you close and you
Yes.
just wave, and that that was so okay. So you go there, you think, oh, they're gonna have AC, and they do. But because of the sheer amount of people in one confined space, it gets hot, and it gets hot quick. And because some folks are rushing, or you're trying to get to that author before they sell out on their tickets, or you're trying to get to that line before it gets too long, you do tend to build up that sweat. And having one of those fans is great so that you don't get musty.
Yes, no, very true.
So,
Some people did have neck fans that were electronic. I could also see those being
mm-hmm.
super cool. Definitely
Yeah.
bring a drinking apparatus with you for
Yes.
emotional
You
support
want a bottle, water bottle? Mm-hmm.
because they do
Mm-hmm.
have water set up very conveniently everywhere. But remember to use it because sometimes we were forgetting because you're kind of going, going, going. Stay hydrated. That is the key.
Yep. Snacks. Bring snacks. And if you don't think you
Snacks.
have enough snacks, bring some more,
Bring
because
more.
you are. So we first day we didn't bring snacks, and we were pretty ravenous after that first day.
Oh,
Second
yeah,
day
that
we
was
brought
rough.
snacks, and we bought extra snacks so that if someone online also, you look a little weary, you want some of my peanuts or something, just yeah. So yeah, yeah, bring snacks, guys.
Yeah, no, snacks is definitely essential. And another essential that I would say is, I mean, we were gifted because so when you go to the coronation ball, they actually gave us these really cool bags. They're these lug bags, LUG. And what's great about them is on the outside, it's like all business on the outside, but then it's like a party in the front because they got dragons in it and shit. But the cool thing about this bag is that it has like a handle on the back of it where you can slide it onto the handle of say luggage or in this instance a book cart. I highly recommend getting a bag like that that you can sit on top of your book cart.
Yeah, that came in handy for me because again, I took the train out to DC, and I had my carry on and I had my book cart. Then I had this jazzy bag, and it was really a good size. So I was able to stick all my, things that maybe I wanted to have near me when I was sitting down in the train, going. And it slid right on my book cart, no problem. It's going to be a great travel bag if you're, going on a plane, going on vacation. Even to use as like a work bag for your laptop.
Oh, it
It
was
has
great.
pockets
Yeah.
all around. So yeah, it was. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did.
I didn't think so either. Like, I remember being like, oh, a bag. Well, what's in it? And then I don't know. Then I was kind of looking at the bag and using the bag, and I was like, oh, I really like this. And now I can't stop using it. Like, Lee sent me a picture of her bringing it to work. I've been bringing mine to work. It's just a really nice bag. It's kind of nice.
It is. It
That
really
co-
is.
yeah, that comes in clutch too. Highly recommend a really good bag that you can fit lots of snacks in, fit excess books in. Um, as far as ticket pricing goes, as I like the ticket tiers, I mean, I'm sorry. As far as ticket tiers go, if you're gonna go to a Polycon, go big or go home. Don't just get the primal pass because we're gonna tell you why. You get 2 days. 2 days. You don't get 2 days with Ascended. You don't get 2 days with Deity. You get one day. Get the primal pass if
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
go.
That that does make a difference. So at first, when we were thinking about coming to this, Anne was like, "I don't want Primal," and then I was thinking about getting the second tiered. I'm like, whatever. Primal's not that serious. But after go, I'm happy that I ended up upgrading the ticket to Primal because after going, I don't think I would use any different tier. I mean, unless there are authors there that I had met, from previous events or whatever.
Yeah,
But I agree with you. If you're gonna do it, go big or go home
go big or go
because
home.
it I felt was definitely worth it. Plus the swag that you got with it as well was really cool. Really nice books. Like a lot of the JLA books were pretty sprayed edges.
Oh, so pretty.
Um right? And then there were books of authors that I had not read, that I was excited to meet, that were at the event, that were in the swag bag. So I like that. I also like that Barnes and Nobles had a a book. They were one of the vendors, sponsored vendors there. So they had one
Yeah,
of these little rooms
pop-ups.
with all these little books and stuff, and that was nice. That was cool.
That was really cool. It was like a little pop-up, and every single book in there was one of the authors that was going to be available, which was very smart. So there's so much that was good about it. The only thing that I'll say before we give our overall vibe rating of everything is, and this is something that me and Lee talked about a few times. So the authors had their own like sponsored events, which is great. But if I sign up and Lee signs up, there's like a 50-50 chance that both of us will get into it. And once I realized that there was no guarantee that you could get in, like at the same time as like your friend, I was like, well, that's not a good time for me. if if both of us can't go, and see, that's girl code, guys. If both of us can't go, we're not going. So I had stopped even trying. I almost hope that in the future they'll change that up and have the authors set it up where you tell them how many people are in your ticket group.
Yeah, because we purchased our tickets at the same time. We purchased it together.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like Anne went in and purchased hers and then I went in after purchased mine. We
right.
purchased it together.
Yes.
And when these events started coming up, we had to register for these events separately. So if Anne got to it quicker than I did, and that's what ends up happening. We both registered for the event, but because the event was so popular, she got in and I didn't, which is fine. But again, we are on a vacation together. We want to enjoy the time together. So,
Yes.
um,
Exactly.
yeah. So that's the only thing that was, a little blah. But we did hear a lot of things about the events. We did hear a lot of the events were packed.
Packed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it, the fact that we didn't get to go to as many as we had wanted, That's not the greatest. Oh, boo. But at the same time, I really did enjoy my time there. I went there because I wanted to meet new authors and I wanted to be there for you. And I succeeded in both of my tasks.
Those were both of my tasks too. I was like, oh, I want to like hang out with my friend who I don't get to see all the time, and I want to also see authors that you're already obsessed with and their work. And
Oh, but I will say a shout out to the venue. That venue
oh, that venue was
was
great.
it was it was a beautiful hotel, nice rooms, your standard typical rooms, but they had these beautiful trees in the atrium, and you had your Starbucks and a couple of little like marketplace so you can go get some little small eats, nothing crazy. And then they did have some restaurants as well. So that was really nice. It was a huge, huge hotel, and that was good. So shout out to them for that.
Yeah, that was a good pick for sure. I did like the venue as well. I thought it was very convenient. There's a lot of stuff around it too, even just on the outside that's just within walking distance. So you don't have to move from where you're parked when you park in the garage at all. Like I didn't have to go into the car at all until the day that we were leaving because we were able to just walk
Yeah,
everywhere. And then one night in particular, we took an Uber, and it was just a very convenient area. And I'm going to say my overall like rating of everything as far as Apollycon goes, I would give it a solid 8. What about you, Lee?
me too. Me too. I'd give it a solid 8. I loved I loved the venue. I thought the panels were great. The authors, it didn't matter if they were ticketed or not ticketed, were all there was only one author that I was disappointed
I know, I
because
felt so bad.
yeah, there was one author that I was like, wait a minute, I don't, you don't seem very nice. So, and I'm not going to throw them out there. Maybe they were just having a rough day. It was day 2, and we did go in the afternoon. Maybe their lull was down, their vibes are going down with everything. But there was only one author out of all the authors that I thought was not the nicest. Other than that, all the authors were great.
They
Um,
were.
JL, JLA, JR Ward, they stayed extra.
They
So on the
did.
book signing day, they it was end of the signing, right? They still had not seen everyone who had a ticket for them, so they moved to one of the panel locations and finished signing there. They didn't finish signing till maybe it was what 9:30,
Yeah,
something
I
like
think it
that.
was like 9:30 that night. They stayed a long time, which was they don't have to do that. I think that's
No,
something that the one thing that I do want to say for anybody who attends book conventions or will be attending, authors are people too, and they don't owe us extra.
they don't.
They don't. And because they need a break too. They're tired too. So if they give it, just be humble with it.
All right, yeah,
Don't
acknowledge it.
acknowledge it, be humble with it. Don't push the envelope.
Yeah, because there were some people like, well, I came here for her. She's gonna sign my book. And I'm sitting there like, well, really? Okay, good luck to you. I came here, yes, to see her as well. And if she signs my book, I'm so excited. And if she doesn't, I mean, better luck than next, but better luck next time, you know?
Yes,
But I will, but those two staying really, it makes you appreciate them more, you
it
know?
does.
It makes you appreciate them as individuals, and it also makes you appreciate their work more because they care. They really do care.
They really do care. And it's it's really nice to see that as as big of names as the two of them are, because they are big names in the book world, they were very down to earth. And that kind of solidified it. It's like you can get that vibe, but that kind of proves that through their actions too, that they are down to earth
Mhm.
people, that it is important to them. Like the people who read their work they are important.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, and guys, this is just a worthy note. One of the so obviously, you have all these types of books, whether it's real life, romance, or fae, or fantasy. But one of the authors actually wrote children's books as well. And
Yes,
when
Davenport.
we were yes, so when we were perusing, um, I think they were exhibit hall E. It we're walking, and it completely caught my eye, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I have two little ones. My oldest loves reading. He loves it. And how much fun would it be to bring him home a book that is autographed by the author as well as the person who illustrated the book? So the wife and husband wrote the book. Their son illustrated the book. And well, their son is an adult. So he illustrated the book. It was a children's book. They made it, autographed it to my son. And because I was so enamored by the fact that they wrote a children's book, I went and bought their adult book too. And the children's book, the children in that book they're the kids of their adult book.
Yeah.
So very, very down to earth.
Oh,
Um,
so
we
nice.
sat there, yeah, and we sat there, we spoke to them, to that family for quite a while.
We
So
did.
really nice. They're great.
Oh, they were great. No, I thought that was really kind of a cool idea because I was actually thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to drive Lee to like a mall of some kind because there's nothing here for her children.
Gotta bring something home for the
I
kiddos.
was like,
I mean,
there's no
there,
souvenirs here that she
yep,
can bring back home.
yep. So mom was out of commission for 5 days. I had to bring something back home.
No,
So
you do. You can't go home and empty-handed. That would be rude. That'd be, that'd be so rude. But it was so much fun. And thank you so much, Lee.
oh, thanks for having me. I mean, I enjoyed it. I can't wait to the next one.
Oh my God, yeah.
And yeah, yeah. And as for all the folks that we met out there that we did exchange numbers and pleasantries with, you guys all rocked. You guys made it fun
They
to
did.
whether it was to stand online or just chit chat or just discuss, what authors we all were familiar with. It was a good time.
Oh, yeah. It was a really good time. Seriously, that was like, I think, one of the great parts too. And you know what, guys? I might have to have Lily back on here when From Blood and Ash gets wrapped up because she's like more recently in the world. So she's gonna.
Oh, but guys, it's not going to be wrapped up yet, though.
It's not. We did find out it's probably out there, but we did find out while we were there that the book coming out that was supposed to come out in June is no longer coming out in June. It is coming out in September. And then the final book in the From Blood and Ash world is coming out next April. That is the projected estimated date. So, yeah.
Yes. So here I thought I was going to finish this series by before the end of summer, and nope.
Nope.
She was like, "Not really."
She, she was like, listen, the book is so big that my publisher said there's no way we can bind this.
Say that. She did say that. She said it had so many pages that the publisher was afraid that it wouldn't be able to bind. So therefore it had to be broken up, and she was happy that it did.
You know what? And I am too, because once it gets that big, that can be daunting. I don't need a book that I can like, I mean, maybe I do, because then if you're like walking around at night, you just carry a giant JLA book with you.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, if if the book is over 400 pages, that is ebook status, honey. That is not carry on the train that go to work with me status or bring it to the bed unless I want to hurt my husband with it. Which, guys, I don't do that. I don't do that. But if it's more than 400 pages, it's ebook status. And then if it gets from what she was saying, she was she mentioned how many pages, how many words was in the book, and it's I can't even remember the number.
Me neither.
But when she said it, oh, I knew my eyes opened. Like, what? That's a thing? I read that many words? So, yeah,
Yeah, needless to say, Lily was in shock. She was like, "Excuse me."
no. I was so excited because Anne was like, "Yes, you entered this world so at the best time. You're gonna meet this author. You're meeting all of these characters, and the last book is coming out. It's gonna be a completed series." And
I
well,
know.
that was day one. Was it day one?
Yeah.
No, it was coronate. No, it
No,
was
it was day
coronation.
two. It was day two. Yeah.
It was day
So
two. It was
yeah,
day two, and she was like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you guys."
yeah. You got tricked, bamboozled, led astray.
I love that. Trick, bamboozle, let us try all three.
All
Everything.
three. I could
House
see
on
it.
the floor.
I could see the crumble happening to your TBR. You were like, "Oh yeah, I'm finally gonna finish a series. It's gonna be great." And then it was like,
I know. I was so excited. I was like, I'm gonna check it off. I'm gonna feel like I really did something this year with my goals, and it just all just right between the palm of my hands just slipped right off.
yeah. She said, "I don't think so."
I'm gonna make this interesting,
I'm going to
and
make
yeah,
this real interesting. I'm going to drag this out. I'm going to torture you guys. Yeah, I am excited though to see what happens with that series. But yeah, we might,
I
lately, we
am
might,
too. But I also heard that her other series, what is the prelude to?
Flesh and Fire. Yes.
I heard that that's a really good one.
Oh, it's so good.
But I'm just like, I want to read the series and finish it first before I go there, but I may have to go back and forth.
I highly recommend it, actually. Do it.
Yes. Yes, so guys, I may be back to tell you my hot takes from the Blood and Ash series.
Oh, yes. We're definitely gonna have we're definitely gonna have to have Lily popping in here from time to time
Yeah,
because she is obviously awesome, which you guys are now learning. I already know.
that'd be nice. You guys could just, you and Polly can just have me, you guys would be in the same room and then just have me, I don't know. You guys are all you're the gadget wizards. You'll figure it out. So my face would
You're
just
like,
be plopped up on the screen.
figure out how to get me there. I'll be there. We'll have my handy
So,
dandy tech husband do it.
oh, that's true. He is whiz in that field. So yeah.
My sound guy. Well, thanks again, Lily. And, like, comment, share spells from the shelf, and let us know what you guys thought of Apollycon if you went and if you had similar thoughts to what we did.
And if we let you say hi,
Yeah. And if we met, please say hi. And if we happen to miss getting your handles or whatever information, feel free to, send a DM. Have a good one, guys.